بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Since September 2019, the Islamic Education Trust Human Welfare Department has positively touched over 6,500 lives through its intervention program, the food aid program, the financial aid program, Qurbani meat distribution during Eid al-Adha, Widows Empowerment Program, the Orphan Care Program, and the Tree Planting Program. For this good work to continue and be sustained, we need your continuous support. Jazakumullahu khairan as we look forward to your generous donation. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Before we went on short break, we were discussing a very important issue, that is what brings joy after marriage. This is a positive side, and every marriage needs joy in order to blossom and make life and marital life very interesting. And Sheikh Muhammad Isa Aliyu has been talking to us on this area. He has raised many issues. But now I would like him to emphasize some of these points so that our viewers can be able to pin down some of these things and make use of them in their marital life. Sheikh Isa Ali, can you please kindly state at least 5 things that you said bring joy after marriage?
Yes, those things are very, very important. Although in our society, a lot of people ignore it and they're negligent about them. First is jokes and plays. There should always be jokes and play and smiles. Aisha was describing the Prophet ﷺ as kana basaman dhahakan. He's somebody that smiles a lot and laughs a lot. This is one aspect of him that many people don't know. They think he's just somebody that is always he frowns, and that makes him more of a believer, a true believer.
Pious.
More pious. So you should always play and make jokes between you and your wife. And you can always be changing the jokes. Every day you can have a new joke. Whenever she hears a funny story or you hear from somewhere, you share it with one another, you laugh, you smile. It brings good health, and it makes the marriage itself healthier. And everybody will be happy and more interested, and even the children. The second one is confidentiality. Another thing that brings joy in marriage is that if I tell you something, I know that nobody else will hear about it. The moment I start feeling that it's likely that this secret may reach somewhere, I will not feel comfortable. And that's why to even discuss with you, I find it very, very difficult. But that confidentiality is very, very important, and it brings joy in marriage. The third thing is to confess. When you're wrong, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. It's just one sentence. But if you don't say it, it can destroy a big building. Just I'm sorry. So a husband should be used to I'm sorry. A wife should also be used to I am sorry. It's a simple thing and it's not difficult. Another thing that brings joy is to renew the love between you and your husband. Renewing love may have something to do even at times when you're at home, the dressing you wear. Nobody says your wife must be wearing hijab or niqab. Before you are her husband.
Inside the room.
So you can have the modern dress that you feel between a husband and wife. You can wear while you're at home. You can watch programs that both of you will benefit. And you can even comment about one another's way of dressing. They call it fannu tajdid al-hubb. That is a skill of how to renew love between husband and wife. The last one is avoid suspicion. Don't always believe, let's assume you are at home and you're coming back from office and somebody came to your house asking for a neighbor's house and he's a man. Then your family came out or peeped and was saying, no, this is not the house. But you came in when she was talking to the person. If it's somebody, he will keep quiet. But he has already saved that one in his memory. And it remains maybe for the next 20, 30 years. The ordinary thing you could have said, who is that man? No, he's asking for our neighbor's house. So I just told him that he should move to the next compound. That's all. Don't say no. That answer is still, I'm not sure. I don't agree that this is a genuine answer. So those are 5 very, very important things that if a husband and a wife abide by them, then they will find a very, very interesting marital life and joyful one as well. No.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I agree there is a lot in the relationship between a man and a woman. A lot they can do in order to make marital life very interesting.
No.
Both men and women are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
Can you give us 3 characteristics that distinguish a man from a woman?
Yes, that thing as well complicates a lot of things in marriage. Because when you marry, you as a man, you think your wife should think the way you think. But Allah has made us distinct. There are some characteristics that Allah has put in a man, and that makes him a man. And that's why we call something manhood. And there is that of a woman that makes her qualify for womanhood. Those characteristics are important whenever a union comes in between a man and a woman as husband and wife. And if you don't know that, you keep on complaining and complaining, and it causes a lot of confusion. There are some things in men, and I'm talking of majority. There can be some few that may not be exactly as that, but men usually they don't like to talk much. Majority of men, I can assure you, not less than 90% of men, when issues are happening, he loves just brief and summary, to handle that thing in summary. So in a woman, seeing that this man doesn't talk, it means he's not concerned. But you may see him having sleepless nights because of the same issue. Maybe one of their children is sick, and now she said, so person is sick, he has been vomiting. Then the man will calm down and say, okay. He'll go and see the boy, then he'll go back to his room. A woman can follow him and say, after all this I said, you didn't even say anything? She didn't know that he's already calculating. How will I get the money? Which hospital will solve the problem? Let me contact some doctors.
He needs time to think.
So he's just trying to see how I can solve it. And she is busy saying he didn't even comment. He didn't even show any concern. He may be inside the room, within his heart almost crying, thinking of a way out. And she's saying he didn't even talk. Because the two natures, those sons, this is how Allah has designed both of us. That's the male and the female. Number 2, a man doesn't rush in trying to solve a problem. He thinks of the best way to solve it once and for all. Not that, okay, let's quickly take him to the next compound. There's a nurse there. No. You think of which hospital will solve this problem. How do I make it, let this problem come to an end? He may even need to interview the boy. Okay, when did this thing started? And how are you feeling now? But a woman will prefer, as soon as she talks, let him just pick the boy. Okay, let's rush. Let's go to where? He would like to use it in a more matured way. This is how Allah has made a man, but a woman may not. The third thing is that when any problem occurs, a man needs time to settle before they come on to discuss it in detail. But a woman prefers that thing to be discussed now and in detail. So that misunderstanding between a man and a woman causes a lot of confusion between husbands and wives, and it even leads to divorce without them knowing. No.
Thank you. Let's look at the other side of the coin.
Okay.
What are those 3 things that distinguish a woman
from a man? That's also very interesting, because if a man doesn't know that, he keeps blaming his wife, he keeps complaining, this woman is this woman is that. Number 1, women are very emotional. And the Prophet told us, Atifa, their emotions are higher than those of men. A woman can easily cry. A woman can easily dramatize something when she is even talking. Look at the way a man talks, and look at the way a woman is describing a situation, an incident that occurs somewhere. You see her, the hands, the face, the voice, all are demonstrating how intense that thing was. But a man will be calm, talking as if it's not even a serious thing that happened. So the emotions make her feel that this man is not serious. When I saw the child, when he fainted, I was crying, shouting. This man didn't even say anything. But your own ends up in crying and shouting, while his own ends up in even taking loans from the bank.
To solve the problem.
To solve the problem. I believe his task is greater. But you need to understand. Number two is that women like immediate response to some issues. When I spoke to you, he didn't even say anything. Maybe he's thinking of how to give you a more packaged response or a better way of solving the problem. So the action aspect of a man, he takes his time, study it very well, but a woman wants it immediately. The last part of it is that women are people that love discussion and talking much of it. And men do not like that. So there are a lot of other things that make women different from men, but the best thing is study your wife, and you as a woman study your husband and know those things that make him distinct from you, and she should also know what makes her distinct from you as well. Now,
thank you very much. Can you give us a sort of illustration of history, part of the history of the Prophet, where he used to play with his wives? Because the other time you mentioned something of this, how to renew love.
Yes. The Prophet ﷺ, there are many examples of how he played and joked with his wives. And that's why Aisha described him as kind of dhahakan basaman. He's somebody that laughs a lot and smiles a lot. But one thing that you need to note is that most of the stay the Prophet ﷺ had with Aisha were more of the jokeful and the playful one. For instance, the one that Aisha requested from the Prophet that I want us to have a race, me and you. And the first one, she was the winner, and the second one, he was the winner. Then he said, "Hazihi bitilk, hazihi bitilk." Let's just stand in place of that one. Let's just. So they joke a lot. They have stories among them. At times he even makes them laugh, but he doesn't lie. So there are a lot of books out there that are there talking about how the Prophet ﷺ played and joked with his wives. Now,
lastly, let us look at how did the Prophet describe relationship between a husband and a wife. This is very important because this program is not meant only for those that are already in the business of marriage, but even those that are planning to come join the club, so to say.
Yes.
So we need to give them some hints that will make their marital life interesting.
Oh, yes, it's very, very important because each one, it depends on what he takes as, or who he considers as his role model, or how he gets his guide with regard to marital life. Some consider, that's the culture aspect of it, it's like a boss-servant relationship. I'm the boss, she's the servant. So I can never say I'm sorry and I'm wrong. This is what many people believe when it comes to marriage. I can never say I'm wrong. The second thing is, another group is, no, the other way around. She is like the boss and he is like the servant. Maybe in most cases she is wealthier than him or she is more highly placed in the society. But the truth of the matter is they are supposed to serve as friends and colleagues. And that's why in an authentic hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Innama rijalu shaqa'iqun nisa." Men are but colleagues of women. So if you know the exact relationship between a colleague and another colleague, then that's how a husband and wife should relate with one another. No.
Thank you very much, Sheikh Muhammad Isa Aliyu. Dear viewers, we've been discussing a very important aspect of human life, especially Muslim life. That is the marriage life. This is important, it's foundational and it's very strategic. And the couple needs to get it right so that they can be able to have a very good, very prosperous life and a life characterized by love, patience, and tranquility. And at the end of the day, they in between raise up the children that will be what Quran describes as the Qurrat Ayun, that is the joy of the eyes and so on, so that life can be meaningful to the society, to the family, and to the couple themselves. Alhamdulillah, thank you, brother Sheikh Isa Aliyu, for letting us into this aspect of marital life, taking example from the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the way he related with his wives, and what many people today regard as a no-go area. Prophet has already demonstrated everything in practical terms, and he has shown us how to love and how to generate love, how to maintain love, and how to sustain love. And I believe if we go by all this, inshallah, our marital life will be that of joy, that of happiness, and we produce children that we can be happy about, and they too can come on board and play their role. Viewers, until next episode, where we bring you another interesting topic or discussion on this program, thank you very much for listening to us. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.